Friday, ladies and gentlemen. While I sit here in my pajamas looking at my stock portfolio making me more money than my active income, I'm constantly reminded of those friends driving around in their brand new cars, showing up to work every day of the week, but don't have a single dime if they lost their job tomorrow. I'm not here to brag about any of this. I'm just here to teach you some lessons about my six-figure dividend stock portfolio. So let's jump right into this. Welcome back, my passive income investors alike. Before we head over to my six-figure stock portfolio and I show you what stocks and what positions are moving the whole thing upwards, as we currently just popped all-time highs again this week, which seems to happen week over week, and I can't get over the fact, and it's so hard to actually comprehend, is that I am making more money right now off my entire stock portfolio than my actual active income. And it constantly reminds me of these early lessons that took me into each step to getting to this point. And probably the most important lesson that I had ever learned, guys, was the great divide between the rich and the poor. It doesn't matter how much money you give poor people. It doesn't matter how much money you give a guy that makes six figures. If you do not know this, you'll always be broke. And this comes down to two major factors and two major kinds of people. There are the kind of people that show up to their job and they're making their six-figure income, and the first thing they're going to go do is they're going to go buy a car. They're probably going to go get a house or, rent something really, really nice. And they're also probably going to be going to the movies, and they're going to be going out every weekend. This is your normal person right here. This is the person that I used to be. And I want to give you a little humbling reminder here that I have never made more than $40,000 a year off my active income. And I just want you to keep that in mind as we go forward here, because now we're going to talk about why the rich just keep getting rich. And it's because they're not doing this. Now we look at them and we think they're doing this. We think they're buying Lamborghinis. We think, because that's what they like to emulate and like to show us on YouTube. But the reality of what they're actually doing is they're taking the working income that they've been generating. They've been using that working income. So they do the same thing. They go to their work. They're probably doing their 9 to 5 just like everybody else. But when they get home, they do something so drastically different. And that is that they put their money into cash flowing investments, okay? They put their money into cash flowing investments that probably have more value to them than the cash flow they're even producing, which is where you're going to start seeing equity upside. But this all runs under the form of passive income, guys. Now, before they go out, before they do anything, they're putting some of their money into passive income. This could be real estate. This could be a business. This could be the stock market. And the big divide that happens between the rich and the poor is while they're still showing up to work doing their job, they still have this income working in the background. And then what they do is they take the cash flow and the passive income from those resources, and instead of spending their working income, they go ahead and then they buy Lambos, cars, and then they go on vacations and everything else in between. When I came to this full conclusion that this is how the world works, the fact is it doesn't even matter if you gave a broke mindset person $1 million. The first thing they're going to go do is spend it. They're not going to be investing in cash flowing real estate. And this is a friendly reminder to you house owners out there that if your house costs you money and it's not paying you to live in it, it's not an investment and it is not a passive income resource. A house literally works like a bank account, but at the end of the day, you're paying property taxes and you're going to be fixing it up and you're going to be living in it for 20 years. And before you know it, you've eaten through so much of those capital gains. Even though your property might have went up 100,000 over the last few years, you've already eaten through most of it. So what you need to do, guys, before you do anything with your money, is invest it. So with my $40,000 a year income, which trust me has not been $40,000 this year, I have honestly been able to put away about $1,000 a month living in my parents' basement, doing the millennial thing. But over 5 years, because I have invested this, I've been patient, and I put it into the right passive income sources, I've amassed over $124,000 as it stands today. So let's go take a look at the actual portfolio so you guys can see the stocks I've bought, and slap a like, guys, if you enjoy this information and you're actually learning something, because that is the purpose behind this channel. So let's go take a look. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to analyze the 4 portfolios really quick to show you what's moving, what's not moving, and what's taking this portfolio to all-time highs. Starting with my tax-free savings account sitting at 94 grand, up $10,000 before dividends this year. And my dividends have been quite nice. I got a few more dividends from Apple in the last day. But taking a look at the Canadian side, I recently bought RioCan, starting to see some green. Mind you, any of this could turn around at any point in time. We've got Canadian Imperial Bank, Bank of Nova Scotia finally coming back, seeing some green in these guys. But But moving into the more important part of my portfolio, in my opinion, is the US part, because these are where the biggest movers have been happening. And we can see MO has finally gotten to some green, and it's pushing into some new highs, considering it hit a bottom of around 40 bucks a share. We got Apple, guys, continuing to push higher, where I thought Microsoft was going to outperform Apple this year. I'm getting proved wrong. But taking a quick peek, guys, my worst performer still is GEO Group. Company's balance sheet hasn't changed. I definitely didn't do a margin of safety when I invested in this, but I will be adding more probably at the beginning of next year. I'm just going to keep an eye on it and watch it. But as long as the balance sheet doesn't change, I don't really care what the price does in and of itself. But taking a look, well, if the price goes down, I'm a little happier because then I can buy it cheaper, right? But taking a quick look at my managed account, we're finally seeing a bit of green in here after I just started moving a bunch of the positions around. And in here, guys, again, there's not much else going on other than I have a lot more MO, a lot more BTI, waiting to see MO finally get into a little bit more green here so I can start seeing some capital gains. And then on top of that, Tesla, the one that you guys have been beating me up about literally the most about, is finally coming into some green. Though at this price, I think it's a little overvalued. So if it drops back down to like the high 2s or the low 3 mark, I'll probably pick up a few more shares before the end of the year. And finally, guys, my RSP, where I've been doing a lot of managing lately, I dumped all my money from Starbucks and basically all of my money between Starbucks and J&J. I kind of funneled it all into J&J, where we're finally seeing a little bit of green as J&J hops up a bit this week with all the markets rallying, which is kind of nice. And VFV, my first investment in the S&P 500 index, even though I invested into it midway this year, we're already seeing a 5% gain. And then finally, I'm sitting on some cash, guys. I sold MMM. I actually sold it higher than it's worth today, but I'm not buying it back. I'm not sure what I want to do with this money just yet. I got about 1,500 bucks sitting here. I was thinking about maybe adding a little bit more to one of the positions I already have within this portfolio. But in the meantime, I just want to sit, let it stir for a while. And when I feel the right decision comes up, I'll probably execute and start buying some other stocks, bringing the combined total of these four portfolio guys to basically $124,400 roughly. We are seeing some incredible capital gains in this overall account, and I'm so grateful that I've taken the steps to invest in the right steps to properly diversify. So when we do get some of these stocks that do end up digging us 30+%, luckily all our other companies that were great investments really overtake and overweigh the bad ones. So I hope you enjoyed this video, guys. If you learned anything, let me know in the comment section below. Just a quick overview, so stay cool, stay awesome. I look forward to chatting to you real soon.